All right, let's just jump right into this. We're going to establish a premise today that, well, it might just completely rewire how you look at the history of our world. As humans, we naturally tend to think of ourselves as the ultimate protagonists, right? Like we're the definitive, original rulers of Earth. But honestly, if you zoom out and look at the sheer unimaginable vastness of time, our human history is basically just a microscopic spark. Because we're about to explore the incredible fact that human beings are absolutely not the first advanced civilization to walk this planet.
Seriously, I want you to just picture the massive, stretching timeline of our planet for a second. Do you ever stop to wonder what was actually here before the dawn of humanity? Was the Earth just empty? Just this silent, lifeless rock floating in space, waiting for us to show up? Or is it possible that someone else was already walking on this soil? Someone who lived, thrived, and completely ruled the world before us?
Well, the answer to that is a jaw-dropping yes. A massively powerful, deeply mysterious civilization actually ruled the Earth for 2 whole millennia. 2,000 years, and that's before the very first human was even created. Just let that sink in for a second. For 2,000 years, Earth was already the home base for a vibrant, totally dominant society.
Which brings us to Section 1, the Empire of Fire and the Rise of the Jinn. Now, unlike us humans, who, as we know, are forged from the Earth, this entire civilization was created from Marij, which is the purest, smokeless flame.
The actual word jinn literally translates to that which is hidden or concealed. And there's a fascinating backstory here. When the Creator first made their forefather, this being named John, he was asked what he desired. And John specifically requested that his people be invisible. Basically, he wanted them to be able to see everyone else while remaining totally unseen themselves. He also asked for the ability to regain their youth when they grew old, and the power to hide deep within the earth. And, well, those wishes were granted, turning them into this profoundly mysterious nation, completely veiled from our sight.
Now, do not make the mistake of thinking they were primitive. No way. This was a highly advanced civilization with absolute total dominion over the planet. We're talking an empire ruled by 70 consecutive kings, building these vast, sprawling palaces across mountains and valleys. And they were incredibly diverse physically too. Some had wings to fly, others took the forms of these massive beasts or giants. They completely mastered the Earth's mineral resources. I mean, gravity literally couldn't hold them down. They could travel across entire continents in the blink of an eye. But the most important thing, above all of that, they were granted the ultimate, incredibly heavy power of free will, the conscious power to choose between good and evil.
And that leads us to Chapter 2, the descent into chaos and blood on the soil. Because, as it turns out, that exact gift of free will is what sealed their fate. Over the centuries, it slowly mutated into greed and this totally insatiable thirst for power.
If we walk through the timeline here, you can literally see how a golden age just completely unravels into an apocalypse. So first you have the long reign of the 70 kings, but then comes the rise of greed. Different tribes started fighting for absolute superiority in these terrifying great wars of fire. And remember, these are beings made of pure flame, so their conflicts were absolutely cataclysmic. We're talking trebling mountains, burning forests, and for the very first time, the soil of the earth was actually stained with blood. They were sent warners, chances to stop, but their arrogance totally blinded them. Ultimately, the devastation got so out of hand that the Creator sent down a massive army of angels to completely purge their reign and wipe out their civilization.
Moving on to Part 3, the ascension of Azazil, the anomaly. Because amidst all that absolute, total destruction, there was actually one single survivor. Just one, a young Jinn named Azazil, who was spared solely because of his incredibly devout worship.
The angels didn't destroy him. Actually, it was the exact opposite. They elevated him. He was taken up to the heavens, which kicked off this completely unbelievable ascent. Through sheer, unwavering dedication and thousands of years of worship across all 7 heavens, this lone survivor of fire was elevated to live right alongside the sinless angels of light. His knowledge grew so insanely vast that they even gave him a title, Mu'allim al-Malaika, which means the teacher of the angels.
But here is where the story takes a really dark, psychological turn. We have to stop and ask, what is actually hiding inside a heart that is fundamentally fueled by fire? Because fire has a very specific natural tendency, right? It always wants to rise upward. It wants to consume and appear greater than everything around it. And after thousands of years of unparalleled success, honor, and top-tier status, this hidden microscopic seed of arrogance was planting itself deep within Azazil's heart. Without anyone realizing it, he secretly began to view himself as the supreme being.
Which brings us to Chapter 4, The Dawn of Clay, a New Successor. Out of nowhere, the peaceful, silent universe was suddenly interrupted by an earth-shattering announcement from the Creator.
The Creator announced this grand plan to place a brand new ruler down on the freshly cleansed earth. The specific term used was Khalifa, basically a vicegerent. This meant someone who, equipped with their own free will, would consciously choose to implement divine laws on earth.
Now, when the angels heard this, they were struck with genuine, absolute terror. I mean, they immediately flashed back to the horrific destruction caused by the last creatures who had free will, the Jinn. Out of immense fear, and to be clear, this wasn't disobedience, just pure fear, they asked, "Will you place upon it one who causes corruption and sheds blood?" They had literally seen the devastating apocalyptic cost of free will with their own eyes.
But the Creator gave them the ultimate silencing response. Indeed, I know that which you do not know. The heavens were assured right then and there that this new being was going to be entirely different. Yes, sure, they definitely have the capacity for destruction, but they would also possess these unprecedented capacities for deep knowledge, profound love, and, most importantly, remorse, the unique ability to shed a tear, realize they messed up, and ask for forgiveness.
So this divine plan culminated in the truly miraculous, physical creation of humanity's forefather, Adam. The angel of death was actually dispatched to gather the base materials, and crucially, not from fire but from humble earth. Step by step, the gathered soil was mixed with water to form a sticky clay. Then it transformed into this black, altered mud, before finally drying out into a firm, ringing form. Honestly, it was a lot like burnt pottery. And what's absolutely beautiful about this, and how it connects directly to every single one of us watching today, is that the soil wasn't just scooped up from one random spot. It was gathered from all over, the soft plains, the hard mountains, the dry deserts, the vibrant, fertile valleys. And it came in these incredibly diverse colors, reds, whites, blacks, and browns. This completely accounts for the beautiful wide variety of human skin colors and temperaments that we see all across the globe today. Our diversity isn't some accident or weakness. It's literally the fundamental blueprint of our creation.
All right, Section 5, the ultimate test and the fall of arrogance. For 40 long years, Adam's hollow clay body just rested there at the gates of paradise. Meanwhile, a deeply, deeply resentful Azazil would circle him, secretly sneering at this harmless, hollow shell of mud.
And this perfectly sets up our ultimate climax. It's a direct collision of two completely opposing natures. On side A, you've got Azazil, the veteran, created from rising fire, completely fueled by ancient, hidden arrogance, and utterly convinced he is supreme. And then on side B, you have Adam, the newcomer, created from humble, lowly earth, yet carrying this immense divine potential for wisdom, love, and remorse as the new Khalifa.
Then it happens. The cinematic, impossibly high-stakes moment of awakening. The Creator breathes the Spirit into Adam. And as the Spirit reaches his nose, Adam sneezes. And his very first earthly action, his first words are, "Alhamdulillah, all praise is due to the Creator." Instantly, countless angels, the absolute greatest beings in the heavens, fall entirely to the ground, prostrating in pure obedience. But amidst this massive ocean of bowing angels, one single figure stands perfectly defiantly still. Azazil alone remains standing, his chest puffed out in total rebellion. When he's asked what prevented him from bowing, Azazil finally utters his devastating justification. He says, "I am better than him. You created me from fire, and you created him from mud." Wow. In that one single sentence, the hidden arrogance that had been quietly brewing inside him for millennia just erupted like a massive volcano. The very thing he thought made him superior, his fiery origin, was the exact thing that completely blinded and ruined him.
Bringing us to our final chapter, the enduring lesson, the danger of pride. Azazil was eternally banished for this, and the heavens finally understood the truly devastating nature of unchecked arrogance.
Because here is the real takeaway. The highest status, the most impressive achievements, even the deepest knowledge in the universe, none of it can protect a heart that becomes infected by pride. Azazil's downfall wasn't because he lacked understanding. It was actually born directly from his success. It's what made him feel superior to a simple being made of humble mud. So as we go about our lives, exercising our own incredible gift of free will today, we really have to stop and ask ourselves, are we letting our successes build a dangerous, fiery arrogance? Or are we managing to stay grounded, just like the earth we were originally made from? That's the real question.
Thanks for diving into this incredible explainer with me. And as always, keep questioning what truly shapes the world around us.